Michigan Ceramics Art Association is a big, strong organization of ceramic artists, which brings everybody together.
We are the oldest ceramic state organization in the country. We're a nonprofit organization that is meant to, as an advocate and opportunity builder for the ceramic arts.
This exhibition is incredible. It's a biennial competition and exhibition. We are just honored to have it here. I think if you look around the gallery, you can see the depth of the creative artists that are partaking in this exhibit. I'm proud to say I am a ceramic dropout and therefore a wonderful collector, because I understand the incredible talent it takes to create something with a humble piece of clay that I have in my hand.
It's the most receptive material on the planet. We're not just talking about the receptive nature where I touch it and it takes my fingerprint and I can move it, but we're also talking about how it will read and respond to your own emotional and mental state at that moment.
Ceramics cultivates something like approachable. Sometimes art can feel like there's a distance between the maker and the viewer, and ceramics, I think, closes that gap. Ceramics is beautiful in the way that it is a multifaceted art medium. Being a juror, it's a hard task. I try and take really immense care because people are putting their work out there, they're putting themselves out there, and I'm trying to be as equitable in terms of the types of work, but it ultimately is through my interest and my lens.
When we thought about where we're headed in terms of MCAA and what we want to celebrate, George was this no questions asked choice. We want to make sure that everybody has a voice there. There were 5 major identities that we wanted to celebrate, from the professional to the emerging artist, the enthusiast, the educator, and the student.
I really like that distinction because as an artist myself, I've felt like I've lived through a lot of those different categories. Just made an opening enough for people to be able to submit their work and be showcased amongst everybody, regardless of where they stand in their professional practice.
I won the Best in Student Sculptural category, and I feel overwhelmed, but in a good way. I'm very excited. It feels really great to be recognized. It's something I wasn't expecting. There's such an amazing amount of work here, and I just feel so honored that my work was selected.
I received the Jurors Award for my piece, White Gold. It was the bonus award in the end, so it felt really heartwarming to receive that, and especially it being my first time too, I felt very privileged here.
This is actually the 3rd time it's been at the BBAC. The president and CEO, Annie, is amazing with her eye, her placement, not to mention just the space that she has available. And it's in a really accessible part of the state where most larger population kind of is.
Normally, we wouldn't expect the president and CEO to place art and hang art during the shows. Being an artist myself and not having time to really work in the studio, that's my creative outlet. And being able to afford every artist an actual premiere spot and showcase their work is really important, whether it's this show or another show. And then also be able to get the viewer, the public, to come in and be able to spend time with each individual piece. We're always very proud to work with other nonprofit associations as the MCAA, and I think that just shows our community involvement. But to be able to showcase these wonderful artists that all have a little thread to Michigan.
We had 164 applicants, and we settled on 69 different artists, 75 artworks that represent 7 different states and 42 different Michigan cities, which then plays into the next thing we wanted to do. If you ever lived, studied, or worked in the state, you're part of the family, you're part of the network, you are part of the history of what we become now.
I'm born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Currently, I live both in Seattle, Washington and Berlin, Germany. This is my first show in 20 years in Michigan. It's been a very, very large homecoming in a big, big way. So being from Michigan and having all my roots based in clay and seeing Michiganders in the clay community here, you don't see installations of clay like this. An incredible caliber and quality of work. And to see all of this be Michiganders, having these conversations in ceramic art is a very big deal.
Being in Detroit for the first time and being here, I was so taken back by the amount of people that showed up for the reception. It was a full house. Everybody was excited.
It's a great learning experience for our students in the ceramics department to walk around and see what's possible. So proud of Sue O'Connor. She's one of our instructors in the ceramics department, and she did the banned books exhibition here.
This is my home away from home. I was very excited that it was here this year, It's always a great show. Lots of different ceramic artists from all over, and this show I think is one of the best.
Here's an instructor at the Birmingham Bloomfield Arts Center showcasing her work, which sometimes we have a tendency to forget about what our instructors are actually creating as well. And then a number of her students got into this show. 2 of them actually won awards.
I think that this space is a really fantastic space to exhibit in. It's something where if you come into this gallery, it's a quality professional gallery.
Coordinators and the staff here have been super welcoming and inviting. It makes me feel comfortable presenting work here as an artist.
It was amazing to see people sort of go over my piece and look over it. It was the intention of the way that I installed the work to have it be a bit like a viewing of a casket when you are witnessing and honoring someone who has passed.
I've participated in these competitions since the 1970s, and there's some fantastic work here. I would consider this to be top of my list, even nationally.
We have such similar missions, and I think that's what makes this show. We're here to support artists, we're here to exhibit artists, and encourage them to keep working. We always try to encourage people to experience some art classes here, take away 3 hours of stress-free time, even if you haven't taken a class since middle school. Art is happy. We should be happy, and we all need a little